What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling great today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, shares, donations. Your support is just amazing, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll discuss what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course, just all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space just been cleansed, just all over the place. Gems, feeling great. Just good, really, really good vibrations all around, Cancer. Now, the moon is going to be going void of course today, and she'll be going void of course about 5:07 in the morning, and that's going to be Central Time, and then she'll be entering Libra. She's going from Virgo to Libra at about 8:56 later today. So going to be a good little void of course there. But the nice thing with the moon in Libra, because I'll tell you what, Cancer, I personally really like when the moon's in Libra. You know, there's the energy is going to be kind of like a partnering impulse kind of comes into play here. So that's really perfect, kind of piggybacking off what was going on yesterday. Work with this moon in Libra here, Cancer, because it also may be too with the moon in Libra. It may be difficult to identify emotions kind of like without a sounding board, you know, someone to kind of bounce some things off of. And you may also kind of feel too, and this is what I really like about the Libra energy, you know, you feel a little more charming, you know, might have just like a more graceful demeanor. It's very, very Empress type of energy here with that, with the moon being in Libra. So make the most of that, Cancer. And also, you know, she's still in the waning gibbous or disseminating moon. So we're still kind of in that time of reflection there. So, you know, maybe we can, while we're reflecting, you know, maybe bounce some stuff off a partner here. So, you know, play with that energy, Cancer. And lastly, in case y'all were curious, I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot deck. It's a Chariot Friends exclusive. I know I spoil ya. And I have a link for this deck and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But let's go ahead and get into your first card here, which is going to be the general energy of the day. So, hiya self. What's the energy looking like for Cancer today? Let's see how we're feeling during this lovely moon in Libra. Let's see what's going on here, Cancer. Love it. The High Priestess is back, which I'm with it, Cancer. And I feel like with the High Priestess popping up popping up today, you know, maybe this is a good time, you know. When I was talking about the moon being in Libra, I feel like maybe, Cancer, if we haven't been kind of paying attention to how we feel during each of these, during where the moon is in each sign, I feel like the High Priestess is kind of asking us to kind of tap into that. Because I'll tell you what, there are certain signs, Cancer, that I really, not that I don't like all the energy, but there are certain ones that that resonate with me personally. You know, I really, like I was saying, I love the moon in Libra, obviously moon in Cancer. Even like the moon in Sagittarius is really fun for me. I don't know, just like see how you get things done, and because it's like, and you know, when I think about like the moon being in Virgo, if I had one that like it's not that I don't resonate, but there's definitely like there's a noticeable shift in how the energy feels. You know, I feel like the High Priestess really is asking you to kind of tap into that, really tune into the energies, because I feel like the moon is a good base, you know, because I don't know if you've noticed, like I'll do like the shorts where I'll talk about different aspects, you know, how the planetary energy relationships kind of go with us. You know, that can maybe be a lot for us to kind of all digest here. And then, you know, you get where your sun, you look at like where your planets are and your signs, and then you get to the houses. It's a lot to unpack, Cancer. But I feel like with the moon, you know, with the moon energy, that might be a good place to start when whenever I talk about that, like working with the energies. Just kind of sit with that when you have some time and notice, like, kind of check in throughout your day and throughout each sign. Just see how you feel, see how you can work with these energies here. Because when the moon's in Virgo, I get stuff done. When the moon's in Capricorn, I get stuff done. It's noticing those types of things. Moon's in Gemini, communication's a lot better. Just play around with this energy, Cancer, because I feel like this would be, if we're having trouble kind of maybe understanding intuition or even the energies or anything like that. I really feel like we have a good person, good cheerleader, in our corner here, Cancer. The High Priestess, the moon's wants us to really make the most of the energy that we have, that she has to provide. And to Cancer, you have that flexibility, as well, considering, how, I love talking about this, how she'll be in different signs, in different phases, like it's there's nuances to unpack in that, Cancer. So just, when I feel like with this energy, when we get some time now and just over like the next few lunar cycles, just see how you feel, like see how you energetically feel with this stuff here. So yeah, let's move on. You know what? While we're talking about all this working with the energy, let's see how we can work with the energy. That's going to be the next couple cards. So higher self. What are some ways that Cancer can work with this? We can work with our ruler here. Let's see what we can do with that, Cancer. Nice. Okay. You got the Seven of Wands here. And, I feel like with the Seven of Wands, I feel like when we start talking about the realms of like spirituality and like divination, tarot, maybe working with energies and all that, if this is something that maybe you're talking with in like your, in your social circle, it might be something where people are like, oh, yeah, sure, that's cool, Cancer. But, there's that little bit of a skepticism there. And you know what, Cancer, if we've been having trouble maybe connecting with this stuff, maybe because we're worried about like other people's opinions, because that's what the Seven of Wands has to deal with. It's defending what you hold true to yourself in the face of adversity. It's also can be like a card of protection, like in protecting, what's near and dear to you. So I feel like, if this is something where maybe we're feeling kind of self-conscious about talking about these things or whatever, Cancer, keep in mind too, it's just like how I tell you at the beginning, let them take what resonates with them and leave the rest with you, because you got a lot of energy to work with here. And if they don't want it, more for you, Cancer. And, more for other people who who'll be receptive to this energy here. Because another thing too, Cancer, this is something that you really can't force anything on anybody here. But I feel like sometimes, with us being like being the mother of the zodiac, I think about motherly energy. We want, a mother wants the best for their child. They may try to, and they may go a little overboard, as far as just like, listen, this is going to be for your benefit. Just try it. I promise. And Cancer, it very well could be for their benefit, obviously, because I feel like you got your people's best interest at heart, but again, you can't force those kind of things. Let them come to you, then that kind of allows you to free up your energy to focus more on yourself. And then when people when they see you practicing this stuff, or they see maybe your things start to change for you here, and they go to ask you like, Cancer, what are you doing? I'm tapping into my High Priestess energy here. I'm working with the energies, I'm really, maybe we're meditating, however that looks like for you. Because, and another thing too, last thing, and I'm gonna move on. I know, like, these cards have been extra chatty here lately. But with, what was going to be my last point? Another thing too is that maybe, it fell out of my head. If it'll come back if it's important, Cancer. Let's move on to your next card. I think I've got about everything that I can out of that Seven of Wands there. So. Yeah, let's keep it moving, Cancer. It'll come back to me if it's important. So, higher self, what are some other ways that Cancer can work with this High Priestess energy? Let's see what are some other ways we can make the most of this stuff here, Cancer. Nice. You got the Eight of Wands here. And see, what? I feel like with us getting these wands here, wands have to deal with energy. They're that fire energy. Fire, and when I think about there's this thing when you talk about fire signs. There's when you get into like Jungian typology or Jungian typology. I'll have to look up how it's pronounced. But when they talk about fire, fire is known as as known for intuition. Because fire creates stuff, and I feel like we're getting hints of working with the energy here, because I feel like Cancer with the Eight of Wands. Let's talk about the Eight of Wands. This is a card of like messages coming in, like good news, just like things and just things starting to pick up. It's very very fast energy here. Things are really starting to, the pace is starting to increase, whether that be with like I really am feeling it's like with your manifestation, with what you're trying to, whatever you're trying to accomplish here, Cancer. If we tune into these energies here, I feel like things are going to start coming in, not only just coming in for you fast, or start coming in for you maybe faster, but also coming in for you more consistently, because I feel like that's what kind of can deter people from like when you get into like things like the law of attraction and things like that. It's that lack of consistency. And Cancer, something too, when I keep talking about that, and that's something that I had just watched the film The Secret not too long ago. Another tarot reader that I had watched had been mentioning it quite a bit in like the Cancer reading. So I just kind of finally had checked it out on a whim, and I feel like I had watched it before, but it's energetically, if I had watched it back then, I was in a different space, because it definitely hit for me differently this go around. So that might be something for you too to check out, Cancer. The Secret, it's not, I'm not trying to do like a promotion thing, but I just feel like it might benefit you just when you have some time. I think it's like an hour and a half. But it talks about embodying what you're trying to do, and it takes practice, Cancer. It's something that we all have to discover within, but it's definitely, I feel like a part of that is definitely coming from your, tapping into that High Priestess energy here. So let's keep this, let's move on. The next card is going to be maybe some challenges, what might be getting in the way, which, well, we're about to find out, but it's like higher self, let's just get into it. Higher self, what could possibly what are some challenges for a High Priestess? Let's see what can get in the way of this High Priestess energy. Oh, interesting. Okay. You got the Nine of Wands here, Cancer. And I feel like with the Nine of Wands, you see on this picture here how she has like, she's got this main wand here, and she's got like a whole bunch of wands spent down here. I'm assuming 8 other wands spent down here. I didn't actually count. But you see, I feel like with this energy, some challenges that may be coming up for you is that we may be forcing this thing. And what I mean by that is just like, it's like, let's say, for example, you're just like, you're trying to manifest something, whatever that looks like for you. And then let's say, I'm trying to manifest this by this day. It doesn't hit that day. And then we're just like, well, whatever, this is nonsense. I'm over it. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And Cancer, if that's the case, if you're, if things aren't working, if this thing isn't working out for you, let's say you've been kind of just going at it for a while, like my advice would be to just kind of relax, and I know how that sounds, believe me, I know how that sounds, but it's work. I feel like it's less about controlling this thing, and trying to force this thing to happen. It's working with it. It's this kind of stuff here. It's not something that you just like, you cast a spell and it's like, bam. This is something that I feel like compounds, it's like we practice, maybe, gratitude, we're focusing on our positive mindset, we're working on raising our vibration. We're focusing on what we love, channel that. That's where I feel like, channel all this energy here. Cause look at that. We got 7, 8, and 9. We're I feel like the energy's trying to build up here, and I feel like we've gotten to this place of maybe we're kind of frustrated. You hear maybe myself or other tarot readers work with the energy, and it really is, Cancer. It's just something where you don't have to force this thing. Just relax. Find something you love, and then focus on that. Focus on raising your vibration right now, and then figure out, you know what, maybe we can pick up just some, like, maybe some little hobbies, and then just like watch Cancer. You know, I feel like when you're operating from a more positive mindset, things just start falling into place more. It's you know, it's the pace is going to be different. You know how the timing comes up is always different for people, but I'm noticing that it's something that as you go along this thing, you know, if you stay consistent, you know, and sometimes, you know, the aggression that you're using to, I was just talking with a friend about this not too long ago. It was like the aggression that maybe we're putting towards trying to do this thing, spend it more into like focusing on yourself, you know, as far as like positive affirmations, you know, self-care, you know, all of those things. Take that stuff, you know, get this vessel and get your head and everything lined up here, and then you become you're operating from a different space, then you become a different beacon. And then, you know, that's what I was thinking with this Eight of Wands here. Things are going to start coming in more for you, Cancer. You're going to start seeing that consistency. So just something to think about when we're working with the energies here. But let's see, let's get another card. Let's see what are some, let's see what other challenges that we might be facing at this time. Higher Self. What are some other challenges that Cancer might be facing at this time that might be preventing this High Priestess energy? Interesting. There's that Queen of Pentacles again, Cancer. And so with the Queen of Pentacles popping up, you know, I feel like maybe because, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is a card of resources. You know, she's the type, like, you know, when I talk about the queens, they all work with the energy, but the Queen of Pentacles is different. And it's like, duh, they're all different. But what I mean by that is, get to your point, Justin, is that she's Capricorn energy. This is what the Queen of Pentacles represents. And when I think of just about Earth energy in general, they operate differently than the other signs, obviously. But I mean in the sense of like, they're more rooted in the material, in like the material world than the other signs are, than the other elements are. And so I feel like they have where their kind of intuition lies, and where their how do I want to put this? And where their kind of like manifestation lies is just like they can take their stuff from like the ether here and pull it down to this realm here. And I feel like, you know, maybe I feel like maybe there's that it's, again, maybe it's that connection that I feel like is not happening with this Queen of Pentacles energy here. But let's get a little clarification on the Queen of Pentacles. Higher Self, can we clarify the Queen of Pentacles, please? Yeah, let's see where, because you know what, Cancer too, before I pull the cards, because now, yeah, we're good there. I feel like too, maybe with the Queen of Pentacles, maybe it could be because the court cards can represent people. So maybe this is kind of the Queen of Pentacles is maybe asking us to see if we've been struggling with this stuff, to kind of look for maybe some tutors, you know, or people who, because no one can really teach you how to be intuitive or to manifest or all those things, but it's like maybe they can help you, kind of guide you a little bit. So, you know, maybe we're not just like working in the dark here, you know, but let's get those clarifiers. Let's see what's going on with that. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is clarified by the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Five of Cups. So I feel like maybe we've been, you know what, maybe with this energy too, Cancer, you know, maybe some difficulties that we've been having is that maybe we've been, because I'm thinking with the Four of Pentacles here, you know, the Four of Pentacles can be very greedy energy. So I feel like, and it's not me calling you greedy, Cancer, but I feel like maybe it's just like our intentions of how we're, if manifesting or however we're working with the energies, you know, maybe part of it has been like, again, our intentions, you know, maybe what our focus is, what we're trying to, you know, something, there's a dissonance there that's not, the vibrations aren't lining up here. And I feel like with the Page of Swords and the Five of Cups, you know, it's time to let maybe some old ways of operating go and welcome in some new stuff here. Because I feel like with the Page of Swords, you know, this is the Page of Swords is like excuse me, it's like inspiration, or not even more so inspiration, but it's just like, it can be a card of kind of studying up. So this could be too, again, when I was talking about checking out that movie, that could be something we may need to do a little more research into this thing. But also this is a card of like that, like epiphanies, that once as you're doing this research here, things are gonna, again, start lining up here, Cancer. So I feel like, just when we're working with this energies here, just be very mindful of how you're channeling stuff here, and I feel like that's going to change how we can tap into this Queen of Pentacles energy here. Okay, so let's get into your final card, which is going to be just some closing thoughts on these things, or maybe some like the lesson of the day. I'm still working on a last little title for that one. But higher self, what are some closing thoughts on this energy here? Let's see what we got for Cancer here. Interesting. You got the Ten of Swords here, Cancer. And you know what? I like that because, let's switch back over. Because with the Ten of Swords, this is a card normally, like, it can be a card of betrayal. So, that's, I'm not getting really betrayal with this card, Cancer. Take that as it resonates. I feel like this is more so kind of about, if we've been feeling really frustrated and, we're just kind of at our wits' end here. The Ten of Swords is like a card of rock bottom, or so, just a card of just like, we're just giving up, like this is it, I'm just going to leave all these swords, because you see she got all these swords in her back. But Cancer, check this out as well, because if you see she's reaching for her broom there, because, even though this thing has happened, the sun is still rising, she's, it's going to feel like a lot at the time, but I feel like once we start, I'm really getting like the Page of Swords is really standing out for me, Cancer. I feel like maybe if this is something that we're kind of new at or looking into, I feel like it would benefit you possibly doing a little more research into this type of thing here, so that we can get out of this feeling here that we're not going to progress or kind of move forward. But so I think that's, and the nice thing too, a little last thought here. The nice thing with the Ten of Swords, what I like to say with this card, is there's no 11 of Swords. It's all uphill from here. If we've been feeling like this is like the lowest of the low, all we can do is go up, Cancer. So let that be a motivator as well. It sucks when we're in it, but man, when we get on the other side of it, it's fantastic. And again, I know I said last thought. Be adaptable, Cancer. Be like our ruler here. Be like the moon, and that's going to help us with just being flexible in life, because Cancer is like, we're a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are, the initiators. We usher in the summer, but with how fluid, Cancerian energy is, being a water sign, being our moon's the ruler, we're pretty mutable as well, as Cancer is a very flexible energy in how we can adapt to things. So just something to keep in mind, Cancer. But now I'm for real going to put it into it, because I don't know what's been going on. I've just been feeling chatty, Cancer. You know what? It's probably because Mercury, is slowly getting out of retrograde here. So now I'm starting to get my groove back. But if you like this thing as much as I did, give it a thumbs up, Cancer. If you know someone who may be going through this thing, got Cancer in their chart, or just, may resonate with this thing, share this with them. Let's raise that vibration up, Cancer. Subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get notified when I release videos each day. I am getting better about being all over Facebook. And lastly, I'm assuming you're here because you check your sun, but check your sun, check your moon, check your rising. Really, if you get some time, check your chart, and stay tuned, Cancer. But after that, go check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. You'll get some. I do videos each week there. They're monthly, different monthly spreads. It's a good old time, Cancer. And all that housekeeping is in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here. Okay. You got the Five of Pentacles here, Cancer. And I feel like with the Five of Pentacles popping up, I feel like if we've been feeling kind of like in the dark with this thing, or kind of feeling just sort of like, we want to work, we're trying to manifest, we're trying to, obviously, if you're watching tarot and all this stuff, we're trying to, we're thinking about hopefully, maybe working with the energies here. And so if you've been feeling like you've been maybe kind of alone in this thing, or just something's not clicking, or you're starting to lose hope, because that's what the Five of Pentacles, that's some of the things that the Five of Pentacles has to deal with. I feel like, again, maybe reach out to find a Queen of Pentacles who may know. Maybe look for like a group. Maybe join like an online forum or group, or you know how the internet works, Cancer. I trust you. Like, and look around your community too, Cancer. You'll be really surprised. I went to there's a magic store that's not too far away from where I'm at, and they do like these meetings every month where it's like they'll discuss like the Thotha deck and go like over the different cards they try to do once a month. And I just I found it on a whim, and it's like, that's where I learned about this thing with the Emperor here. I don't know if you've had the Emperor with me lately, but you just never know, Cancer. It's stuff like that. You can find Queen of Pentacles in the most amazing places. So, all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. Stay safe out there. Keep eyes on the moon, because you got this energy. This is yours, Cancer. This is something that we can work with for sure. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.